All right, hi everybody. Back at it again with another book review. And this time, I will be reviewing The Origin by Irving Stone. All right. So let me give you some context. I am used to reading narrative literature. Something with a very good structure, beginning, middle, end. Something like Stephen King, Percy Jackson, hell, even Dan Brown, to an extent. This book is not written like that. Unfortunately for me, this is not a narrative book. This is a textbook disguised as a novel. And I know what you're probably thinking. Well, isn't The Origin just about like a recounted, a recounting of the life of Charles Darwin? Yes. Yes, it is. And really, my biggest qualms with this book came from unrealistic expectations. I thought this was going to be some sort of like streamlined biopic, sorry, talking in movie terms, about like a couple of the major moments in Charles Darwin's life, the Galapagos Islands venture, and then him writing The Origins of Species and The Descent of Man. And while we do get that, a lot of it is few and far between. You see, this book is broken up into really two segments, just really two. About a third to just shy of a half of this book is him on a boat sailing around collecting samples of birds and like tortoises and living the life out at sea. There's so much I want to say, and a lot of it's not very good because there's so much wrong with this book. For example, there are only 3 real characters worth a damn: Emma, Charles, and Fitzroy. And Fitzroy takes up probably just shy of about a third of the book. A good chunk at the half, and then like little bits here and there towards the end. But like even that's few and far between. It's like that. I have to give props to Irving Stone. Like the bibliography to this thing is almost 20 pages. There is so much research that went into this book, and if you're looking at, a sort of like more straightforward approach and like actual detailed breakdown of Charles Darwin's life, then this book is for you. It goes into a lot of detail. It goes into detail about, the house he grew up in, the house he bought down in Old Mill, even the poop cabin, which, there's a person who saw that and is going to be like, oh my God, poop cabin. But, it even details, there's a lot of detail, but there's not a lot of focus. For example, the Galapagos Islands, that venture, it lasts not even a page. It might as well have been a footnote in this book. A footnote. The Galapagos Islands, what we are taught in school, what we're taught, in high school and even history. Sorry, not history, in college. We are taught that his venturing into that island is a significant moment. And guess what? Not really. This was just another Tuesday for him. Which, you're trying to get through just shy of 50 years of life over the course of almost 1,000 pages. 800, but the focus is not right because, like I said, the Galapagos Islands takes up maybe not even a full page. There is a solid 2 pages about Charles trying to get into a hammock. I am not kidding. There are 2 pages of just Charles on a boat trying to get inside a hammock. Focus is not always there. And then, of course, you're like I said, there's 3 characters that are really only worth mentioning. And now you're probably wondering, but Noah, doesn't this book have like dozens, if not hundreds of characters? Yes, it does. It has a lot of characters. Unfortunately, though, most of those characters don't actually get the not characters. These were actually real people that Charles had in his life, and it's so frustrating because this is a book that's recounting facts, not important moments or like history or stuff like that. No, it's reporting facts, and it's trying to do so in a narrative form, and that makes it really difficult when you have characters like Hooker and Huxley, which had, some pretty good detailed accounts of their lives, but even then, we don't get any real time to spend with them in a way that's meaningful or mattering. So, we're just kind of like, oh, this person felt this way about Darwin, and that's about it, cool. But then what's funny is that I'm trying to remember characters that were on the boat, and I'm having a really hard time because unfortunately, so many people are named. It's like the dwarves in The Hobbit. Feely, Keely, Dory, Nori, Huxley, Buxley. What? There's characters there. You kind of have an understanding of what they are, but there's so many, and there's not enough actual development done on them that by the end, you don't know whether or not a character who's written is meant to be the doctor, the first captain. Fitzroy has some complexity to him. We see that there's hints of racism and morality, even with his own religion and beliefs that sometimes like intertwine in a very, very tough knot. He's an interesting character. And, Emma is an interesting character too. I say character, she's a real person. I know, shut up. But she she essentially like once she shows up once in the beginning, and then she's reintroduced halfway through as Charles's cousin and wife. It's not really a spoiler, it's history. But it's like she got so much development because she is actually a huge character in Charles's life. When we spend time with her, we already know who she is. It's great. We love seeing it. She's his wife, but she also has her own beliefs and she stands on her morals. And overall, it's just this was a very slow-paced book that tries to cover so much, and it does so successfully. It does cover events and moments quite a bit. And the worst part about this book is that I think it blows. I was never much a fan of reading like stuff for school, and this feels like something that they're like, you have to read this, it's assigned for school. But it's not bad. I might say I dislike it with a vitriolic and if not slightly jovial fashion. That's true. I did not enjoy reading this book. I did not. It felt like doing homework. But I will not sit here and for a second say that it's bad, because it's actually somehow quite the opposite. It is written in it's very bold. It's very much in your face. It's like what you see is what you get. It is excruciatingly detailed to the point where even if I'm picturing two characters in a room talking, and I'm like, wait, hold on, who the hell are you? And like I remember you slightly. Oh, that's Charles, and there's Emma. Like even when I'm closing my eyes, I can still see it so clearly. I can see everything clearly because this book leaves nothing to the imagination when it comes to the descriptions of things. Like every like it even mentions, a billiard table, and like I said, even the hammock. You get like a detailed description of the hammock, and even other places on the boat, the islands. Everything is very richly written and detailed so thoroughly. It is impeccably written. Yeah, sure, it's slow as molasses, and sometimes you get characters confused because, there's nothing really differentiating them from one another other than just names. And since there's no real inner monologue for some of these characters, you never really know who or what is thinking what. So overall, if you want something entertaining, if you want something that, This is not a Stephen King. I'm clearly not the audience for this book. It was very hard for me to read. But at the same time, I am glad I read this. I think something like this, something that's not really a narrative, it's more of someone recounting the, I guess, not even greatest hits, but just a sort of feeling on someone's life in a very detailed, very thought out, very thoroughly executed book. This is the book for you. I'm glad I read this. I believe this is a book that everyone should read at least once. If not The Origin, then something like this. Because by the end of it, I feel like I know more about a rather important man in history. I may be a little confused by some of the things that happened around him, but I'm glad I read this book. I'm glad that I don't want to say I was duped into reading it, because, whoops, there goes my lighting. But overall, it's good. It's really good. I recommend you read it. I really do.